you can count on us. This is 7 News Good Morning Fort Sill.
Well, it's Friday morning. Thanks for joining us for another edition of Good Morning Fort Sill. We got a great show today, but let's go ahead and kick it over to Michael and see what the forecast has in store for us this weekend. So, Michael, it looks like it's going to be a little bit cooler, though, right?
Yes, we are anticipating the cold front that is moving to the region, and as we look at satellite and radar, we're seeing partly to mostly cloudy skies, especially in the mid to upper levels of the atmosphere. As we look just north of I-40, there is some scattered shower and storm activity that will continue to push off towards the northeast, and a lot of this cloud cover is coming in from the desert southwest, and that's the influence from a weakening tropical storm out in the Pacific, Tropical Storm Lorena, as it continues to die off into Mexico. Now, looking at your PT forecast for this morning, currently it is 74 degrees at Fort Sill, and it's actually mostly cloudy out there. But as we go through your forecast for the morning hours, temperatures will be in the upper 60s to lower 70s for your PT forecast with mostly cloudy skies. And then by 8 to 9 a.m., we will get up to around the mid 70s. So looking at the Alpha's tower cam right now, the Jackson County Memorial Hospital tower cam, you see mostly cloudy skies out there. And yesterday we had a high of 95 degrees, and we were messing around with this boundary that is just still stalled out in place even this morning, which is why we saw that high of 95 degrees yesterday. And it's a little bit above average for this time of year. Elsewhere, you can kind of tell where that boundary was yesterday. 95 in Lawton, a little bit warmer towards the south, where Graham had a high of 103 yesterday, but look up to the north, only 89 in Chickasha, 89 in Elk City. So that boundary is still in place now, but we're waiting for that cold front to come in from Kansas later on today, which will cool us off heading into the weekend.
Taking a look at your top military headlines. So 2 civilians indicted in connection with the 2021 jet fuel spill at Red Hill facility at Pearl Harbor are set to appear in court today. Hawaiians are now demanding more accountability from military leaders after 6,000 people fell sick after their water was contaminated. Lynn Kawano brings us the latest from Oahu.
Critics say the indictment is not reflective of the long-term impacts of the fuel disaster.
If this is the federal government's idea of accountability, I don't think people are going to buy it.
The indictment of 2 civilians in this massive catastrophe is just not sufficient.
John Floyd and Nelson Wu, civilians working for Navy Supply Systems Command, are the only ones charged with any criminal wrongdoing related to the spill that sickened thousands and poisoned the water for many more on Oahu. Both men were indicted last week for conspiracy and making false statements. The government says they reported that only 1,600 gallons spilled on May 6, 2021, when couplings on the pipeline failed during an attempted transfer of jet fuel. But actually, 20,000 gallons spilled.
We hear a lot about military leaders saying, you know, we need to take accountability and we need to act with transparency. Why is it that all of the higher level military leaders involved with this were promoted or allowed to retire with full benefits?
Watchdog groups hope this is just the beginning and more indictments are ahead.
The federal government, especially with these kinds of criminal investigations, is a little bit of a black hole, right? It's hard to speculate as to what they have cooking. It's great that there's some movement here. I think we're still far from a point where we can say, you know, we've resolved all of the injustices.
The fact that this one indictment has been issued against these 2 individuals doesn't mean the investigation is necessarily over. They could be looking at other people. And remember, these 2 individuals, now that they've been charged, may decide to cooperate.
If this is the indication of more to come and they are, you know, slowly making their way through all of the parties, then I look forward to seeing when the decision makers for the U.S. military are held accountable.
The arraignment is set for 10:30 Friday morning in federal court.
Well, taking a look at a few events coming up on Fort Sill. So next week marks the 24th anniversary of the September 11th attacks, and there will be numerous remembrance events held across the country. On Tuesday, we heard from Fort Sill Special Events Coordinator Ethan Briner about the installation's 9/11 Remembrance Run. But today, we're going to hear from the Garrison Commander, Colonel Derek Baird, whose team is making preparations for another meaningful event.
Out on the 9/11, we're doing a 9/11 Remembrance Run. Starts at 0740 for the opening ceremonies. 8:05, we're going to start the run. Even if you don't run or you don't want to come out and run or walk, support the community. Support what we've been doing for the past 24 years is as a community coming together. It's really great. Really looking forward to it. It's at McNair Hall, right there by the big flag. And stay awesome, Lawton.
Here's a full rundown of the event. It is free and open to the public, but if you want a t-shirt, medal, and bib, it will cost you $35. You can find out all the information at sill.armymwr.com. And Fort Sill MWR's Jared Neiman concert is coming up on Friday at the Patriot Club, Friday the 18th of September, excuse me, the 19th of September, that is. Fort Sill leadership is excited to bring in a national recording artist in a small style venue. There are a limited number of tickets available, and the cost is $10 in advance and $15 at the door. There's even an opportunity for a local band to open for the concert. Here's Fort Sill MWR Special Events Coordinator Ethan Briner with the scoop.
So Jared Neiman, low-dose show, $10. Kind of can't beat that. On the 19th of September, come out. It's 500-seat max. So if you want to see him, pay $10. Think of it, it's cheaper than going and getting a meal someplace. $10. Go check out a concert. The big thing people have been asking me is, how does my band get to open for him? You're going to go on a YouTube. You're going to put one of your band's clips up. If you're a solo artist, put your 3-minute clip up there. You're going to end up emailing me that clip. There's going to be a committee. We're going to watch the videos, good, bad, and ugly, and we're going to select possibly 1 or 2 openers. And you're going to play for 30 minutes before he takes the stage, and you get that opportunity to get in front of everybody there and expose yourself in a good way.
You can find out all of the information for this event at Fort Sill MWR's Facebook page. Well, it's National Suicide Prevention Month, and of course, in the month of September, we'll be sharing resources across the region. First up, specifically for the military, we're going to share about the Reynolds Army Health Clinic on Fort Sill. 7 News reporter Skylar Teddington tells us more about what's offered there.
Mental health is something the military takes seriously, with several options for active duty service members, veterans, and their families. For those still on active duty, Reynolds Army Health Clinic has a wide range of treatment options. Treatment at the clinic differs based off of what you need, from traumatic brain injuries to child, adolescent, family behavioral health, and even intensive outpatient care. The clinic helps out many families across the installation. While there is a stigma around mental health struggles, you don't have to deal with it alone.
It is specifically for you. If anything, I further recommend it, because your health matters to you. You don't have to have it matter to anybody else but you. It's your life, it's your career. If you want to feel better, if this is bothering you, bring it up. Don't let it stick in your mind. Don't drown in it. Don't just deal with it. Talk about it.
It's a quick process for those seeking help.
Soldier comes in and say, hey, I need to see somebody. I need a triage. I need a walk-in. We would bring them up. We would hand them some paperwork to fill out. It usually covers risk assessment, their issues, what their coping skills are. Very simple, 5-minute paperwork. I grab that soldier, I bring them back into a private room and or office, and I talk to them about 10 to 15 minutes about what they're looking for from behavioral health, what their issues are, what they're having.
And many patients will go home with either a plan for care or resources that can help them.
After that, I show them a bunch of resources. I usually provide like one of our Silver Cloud websites. I also provide some of our veterans hotlines.
It's National Suicide Prevention Month. Over this month, we'll take a deeper look at some other resources available across Southwest Oklahoma, both on and off post. If you're struggling with suicidal thoughts, whether they're active or passive, there's help at the clinic.
If you are at risk, if you're struggling with either some behavioral health issues or harm yourself, harm to others, anything like that that you cannot control, go to your closest UCC provided by your military clinic. Get seen by the providers there. They contact us. They'll escort you up here. You'll be seen by a tech, provider.
And you can call or text 988 to reach the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Reporting for 7 News, I'm Skylar Teddington.
Thanks, Skylar. Well, some other upcoming events. The Nye Library on Fort Sill is hosting a couple of family-themed events this weekend. Festivities start at 10:30 a.m. With Saturday story time tomorrow, and then Tyler's up to second graders can enjoy an activity story time and crafts. This week's theme is Pieces of Pizza, and if that's not enough fun for the kiddos, they can enjoy some STEAM activities at Builders and Makers on Saturday afternoon and from 1 until 3. Kids will be able to design magnets, code robots, build marble mazes, and much more. For more information, you can call the library at the number on your screen. And Shepherd Air Force Base is calling all kids and their families to join them for their annual Kid Run. The race gets underway at 7:30 tomorrow evening, and costumes are welcome. Officials will be handing out T-shirts for the first 100 people, but sizes are limited. The event is free and open to anyone or everyone to attend. For more information, you can contact the Madrigal Youth Center at the number listed on your screen. And the VFW Post 1193 in Lawton is inviting the community to come out and enjoy home-cooked breakfast and support a good cause. The fundraiser will be held tomorrow at 8 o'clock at Post 1193 and will continue until food runs out. $12 buys you a plate of sausage, bacon, eggs, biscuits, gravy, and much more. All the proceeds will go towards the VFW's Feeding the Community event later this month. For more information, you can check out the Post 1193's Facebook page. Well, Altus Air Force Base has received a notice of violation from the Oklahoma Department of Environmental Equality. DEQ sent the notice in response to a recent water test result. A quarterly test revealed that a chemical used to remove harmful organisms in the base's water supply exceeded the maximum contaminant level allowed by the EPA. Base officials say that the notice is primarily a regulatory notification and does not indicate an immediate health concern. They're actively working with the city of Altus to meet the EPA regulations. And Altus Air Force Base was a host to several U.S. congressional staff delegates over the past month. Guests had the opportunity to see what the 97th Air Mobility Wing does on a daily basis. Altus Air Force Base Command says they appreciated the delegation taking the time to learn about their airmen, families, and the vital role that Altus Air Force Base plays in national defense. Well, the Pentagon has announced that they will soon start testing for mushrooms as part of their drug testing policy. We'll have the latest announcements from across the uniformed services when Good Morning Fort Sill returns.
This 7 News broadcast is sponsored by Southwest Buick GMC.
This just in, the town of Velma is being evacuated.
Stay connected to the team you trust your way. Get breaking news and investigations here on the 7 News app.
Mark, what are you seeing?
Right now I'm here at 2nd and F.
Instant forecast with real-time alerts here on the First Alert 7 weather app. And stream live on your TV here or watch anytime on your schedule. Download all 3 for free. Stay connected to 7 News wherever you are.
Severe thunderstorm watch in effect for most of the area here until 9 p.m. this evening.
Saying that ping pong ball sized hail is now possible west of Altus.
It's been an active day. Multiple severe thunderstorm warnings, some enhanced, some standard.
Got a little bit of rotation here.
Here's your First Alert forecast with meteorologist Michael Amanqua.
And we're seeing a little bit of a temperature difference across Texoma depending on where you are. As I talked about yesterday, we still have this boundary in place that is right along the Red River. North of the Red River, we're seeing temperatures in the upper 60s and lower 70s across the area. And then south of this boundary, we're seeing upper 70s and even a few low 80s in the area. So you can see that divide in the region, and we're seeing this with the dew points. North of the boundary, the dew points a little bit higher in the 60 to close to 70%, not percent, but this dew point temperature in the mid 60s closer to the 70s, and then a little bit drier air south of the boundary where we're seeing dew points in the 40s and 50s across the area. And we're seeing wind speeds too. We can see where that difference is. North of the boundary, northerly winds, and then south of that boundary, southerly winds. So this boundary will continue to stay in place, but we're still waiting on that cold front that will be coming in just later on today. And because of the way the upper levels are situated with this strong area of low pressure in the upper levels, that's going to continue to bring in cooler air as we head into the weekend. And a little checkup on the tropics. We're having a look at Invest 91L, and this is going to continue to push off towards the east, closer to the western portions of the Atlantic. So that's something that the National Hurricane Center will keep an eye on, as so far they said it has about an 80% chance of development in the next several days. There is that boundary that's close, that's still in place in our area right now. That's our next cold front, still in Kansas. It will have to make its way towards the south area as we go into later on today. And there is Tropical Storm Lorena that is currently weakening and sending a lot of cloud cover our way.
Taking a look at several announcements across the Army, the Pentagon has announced that they will soon be testing service members for suspected use of magic mushrooms. The Office of the Undersecretary of Defense for Personnel and Readiness says beginning on October 1st, soldiers may be screened for psilocin, the hallucinogen found in psilocybin mushrooms. The legumes have been used as a recreational psychedelic drug for decades, but still remain a Schedule I substance under federal law, which means they have a high potential for abuse, have no official accepted use, and are illegal. Mushrooms have been floated as a potential treatment for PTSD, anxiety, and depression. Colorado and Oregon have decriminalized the drug. Under the new policy, the DoD will be screening for psilocin use to prevent any impairment and subsequent deterioration of security, military fitness, military readiness, and good order and discipline posed by the drug. And the U.S. Military Academy at West Point has announced they will begin selling alcoholic beverages at their football games at their stadium this season. The Army was the last service academy to not sell alcohol at football games. Air Force began sales in 2017 and the Navy in 2021. Fans will be able to purchase beer and ready-to-drink cocktails with a limit of 2 drinks per transaction. A portion of the revenue from alcohol sales will help support Army's 29 other sports. And Army Human Resources Command has announced some pretty significant changes to the Army's award regulation, AR 600-8-22. Key changes include faster recognition because any Army general officer can now approve specific Army awards, the Army Commendation Medal and the Army Achievement Medal for colonels and below, even if the nominee is outside the chain of command. Lieutenant colonels and equivalent civilians can now also approve foreign badge memos, and the Inherent Resolve Campaign Medal has been extended, eligible for some service members serving in Iraq now through December 31st of 2026. Retirement awards may now reflect a soldier's entire career rather than just a 10-year limit. And new badges approved right now include the Master Combat Badges, the Army Mountaineering Badge, and the Army Mariner Badge. For more information, you can visit the HRC website at hrc.army.mil. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth was at Fort Benning yesterday to welcome in the newest batch of second lieutenants from the Army's Officer Candidate School. Coming up, we'll hear from Secretary Hegseth on his remarks to this year's graduating class.
This 7 News broadcast is sponsored by Southwest Buick GMC.
This just in, the town of Velma is being evacuated.
Stay connected to the team you trust your way. Get breaking news and investigations here on the 7 News app.
Mark, what are you seeing?
Right now I'm here at 2nd and F.
Instant forecast with real-time alerts here on the First Alert 7 weather app. And stream live on your TV here or watch anytime on your schedule. Download all 3 for free. Stay connected to 7 News wherever you are.
Severe thunderstorm watch in effect for most of the area here until 9 p.m. this evening.
Saying that ping pong ball-sized hail is now possible west of Altus.
It's been an active day. Multiple severe thunderstorm warnings, some enhanced, some standard.
Got a little bit of rotation here.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth made the trek to Fort Benning in Georgia to welcome the newest graduating class of the Officer Candidate School. Hegseth did his basic training at Fort Benning in 2004 before he began his military career, and he's referred to the installation as, quote, legendary. The Secretary spoke to the newest batch of second lieutenants and said that the Trump administration has their back. Secretary Hegseth says that while challenges will come on the battlefield, hope will follow.
You bring me hope that we still produce young men and women willing to do hard things for not enough pay and no glory, no spotlight, raise that right hand to defend the Constitution and defend our nation and our citizens. We don't exist unless we have people like you.
Secretary Hegseth has also driven all over the installation and spoke personally to soldiers and witnessed various exercises, including troops jumping from the 507th jump tower. Well, President Donald Trump is expected to sign an executive order today to rename the Pentagon or the Department of Defense. According to a White House official, the Defense Department will be changed to the Department of War, or the War Department. The announcement comes after Trump recently said his administration planned to change the name. And a silo home hidden beneath the hills of central Kansas is back on the market. The Atlas F missile silo was designed to fend off nuclear attacks during the Cold War. And if you're in the market for a wacky new home, agents are asking for the reasonable price of $1.3 million to own a piece of history.
You could do a man cave, you could grow mushrooms, it could be a wine cellar. It's a very specific type of buyer, somebody that just has a lot of imagination.
It was isolated. It was noisy. Things tended to smell bad. It was not a real pleasant place.
Well, that is definitely an interesting home built in the early 1960s as a response to the Soviet nuclear threats. The Atlas F was the most advanced in the U.S. Air Force's arsenal at the time. It stood vertically and was armed with a warhead more than 250 times more powerful than the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima.
Meteorologist Michael Amanqua.
And our last look at your PT forecast, our temperatures will be in the upper 60s and lower 70s, especially for Sill for the base that's concerned. And then our temperatures are getting up into the mid 70s as you go to around 8 to 9 a.m. As we go throughout the day, this cold front will continue to move to the areas, which will divide the area between cooler and warmer temperatures. And that front will continue to slide to the south with some isolated activity, especially south of the Red River, which have the best chances of rain today. Going to your Saturday, mostly clear skies, and then we will have partly mostly cloudy skies. You can't rule out an isolated shower or storm, about a 20% chance for your Saturday going into your Sunday. Now, from your Sunday evening into your Monday, we'll have another round of showers and storms, about a 30% chance before we start to dry out heading into your Tuesday and your Wednesday. We should actually start to warm up by then. It was partly to mostly clear skies going into your Thursday. Now, as you look at today, a high of 83 degrees. That should occur around the afternoon time. Afterwards, the temperatures will actually be going down with isolated storm chances possible, mainly south of the Lawton area. Winds will be switching to the northeast at 15 to 25 miles an hour. Heading to tonight, a low of 59 degrees with some isolated showers possible. Northeast winds at 5 to 15. And going into tomorrow, 79 degrees for a high, with partly cloudy skies will be cooler and northeast winds at 5 to 10 miles an hour. And looking at your 7-day forecast, we will continue to have below average temperatures for your Saturday and Sunday, with highs in the upper 70s and lower 80s. And then as we go into next week, we start to warm up a little bit, and temperatures will be getting up into the mid to upper 80s, close to 90 degrees.
Well, thanks for watching Good Morning Fort Sill. You can check out the 7 News app today for updates and breaking news.